What's up, guys? It's Paul from Valley Central Airsoft. So, I had a few guys at the field 2 weeks ago approach me about um, basically jury rigging things together to make guns and gear function. It doesn't always have to look beautiful, is always my motto when it comes to that. I mean, it's nice to have your gear look cool and nice, but sometimes functionality is more important than looks. So, this video that you're about to watch right now is how I managed to take an unworking gas Marushin clone M500 and I turned it into a functioning shotgun that I used a whole day at Zulu with no problems whatsoever. So, but let's really not talk about it anymore and let's get right into it. This is the jury rigging portion of the video. I'm just going to show you guys what I've been doing to the shotgun. It's been an interesting build so far, but I'm going to show you guys what I've been up to. My methods are a little strange and they're not exactly the prettiest, but they do work, and I think it's more important to get the weapon functioning and then worrying about cosmetics. So let's just get into showing you guys what I've done. Alright, so the weapon is going to stay seated upside down right now, just so that way everything sets properly. Right down here on the bottom, as you can see, I had to attach a spring to these 2 points. So let me explain that. The action arms of the shotgun, the brake arms, the pump arms, whatever you want to call them, on gas shotguns have the tendency to break when people do the Terminator reload. So what I ended up doing is the back section of the pump arm, which sits right in here, and the reason this weapon isn't apart, and I know I'm usually good about that, is just because it's a colossal pain in the ass to take apart and put together. So the action arm piece, where is the little bit now? Here it is. This is the back hook that basically would sit in there and pull the dust cover forward. The dust cover has to be completely forward for the weapon to fire properly. If it's locked back like it was, which I'm just gonna, it's not racked right now, and I'm gonna leave it unracked just because of the way everything's drying. So this would be pushed all the way back, and the only way to make it go forward was to drag it forward with your thumb. And I'm like, well, that can work, but if I'm on the field, it's gonna get annoying. So I'm thinking, oh wait, I have an extra retention spring from an AEG. I don't remember what it was from, but here it is. So I used a little bit of steel stick, which honestly I've used on a lot of guns, and comes in very handy. It comes in this tube. You basically break off a piece, you knead it into a ball like this, and then you spread the ball out to make it work, and then you let it sit. It sits for 24 hours. But I usually let it sit for about 4 or 5 hours, and that's hard enough to move the gun around and actually use it. So I did that. Here you can see I attached it to this piece, and I attached it here with the spring in the middle. So this is held on really well right now, and it's not moving, so I'm really proud of that. Then I realized the gun was wobbling a lot in the middle from a lot of use, so I put some more steel stick. I'll show you guys what I did here. Put a VCA, just for the team. I put some more steel stick on the tube right here, the lower tube, which is the loading tube. For you guys that don't know, basically I flip this switch, and this is where the BBs are held, 50 BBs in each, but I'll go into that. Anyway, but that is held on there really well right now, and I'm just waiting for it to set up. The best thing that I would say, if you're ever doing anything around the tube of a pump action shotgun, make sure that the tube goes back, and when it's wet, even if you don't do it with super glue because you'll get the tube stuck up here, but you put this on and then you pump it back real quick, and that'll get you that nice fit line that you know that this is going to fit into now. So that's holding on really well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clean up the internals. I'm going to use my trusty little valve tool right here, and I am going to take the valve out and make sure it is nice. And so now that I've taken the valve right out of the gas block on the weapon. I'm now going to add a little bit of, where is it? I have a little bit of grease that I'm going to throw on this. Personally, I would suggest Eclipse grease. I use it. It is designed for paintball guns. It is really, really, really good for airsoft guns. I've used it on all of my gas weapons. So now I'm going to put a little bit of grease on this, and I'm going to throw it back into the gun. So always remember when you're applying grease that you do it with your finger or like a maybe toothpick or even an ear cleaner. But you got to be careful with the ear cleaners because you don't want to get any other material besides the grease in the threads. Otherwise, then it can mess up the gun. You also got to remember to use, like, this is actually too much grease for this little valve. So I'm just going to dab on a little bit, and then I'm going to take the rest of my finger and wipe it off on something. I have a paper towel right here. And then you're going to take the little bit that you have on it, you're going to hold the valve like so that way you can get the grease on both the O-ring and a little bit on the threads, but mainly you're looking to get it on the O-ring. See the little black O-ring. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to take my Empire marker oil. You can also use, if you really want REM oil, which I preferably don't like. I like the paintball oils and the grease because, you know, these paintball companies are used to using compressed air. So they have really good solvents and stuff. So like I said, I'm going to use some Empire oil. I also use grenade oil every once in a while. And I'm going to put 2 little drops that they're going to go down into the gas chamber. You know, line my tool back up with the threads. Put it back in, and we're going to thread it in. So now what you want to remember is you want to remember not to over tighten the valve, but also not to leave it too loose. There's a happy little median that you need to stick to when you're doing this, so that way you don't damage the gun itself. So now we're going to go on a little bit of a trip because I realized I don't have any green gas and I lost my propane adapter. I think I lent it to Josh and I completely forgot to get back to him. So we're going to go on a trip to my local paintball store, which is called Montgomery Sporting Goods and Paintball. If you guys have seen any of our older videos, that's the field and place I used to work for. So it's actually really great, and she does give us discounts because we are relatively consistent customers. So I figured we would need some accompaniment on this ride, so I stopped to pick someone up.
Hey, what's up? Hey!
Alright, so we got the green gas, and stay tuned for a video that hopefully will be coming out
If Sherry decides to show up.
if Sherry is there, the owner of the store, because right now her daughter was there and her daughter doesn't like talking to cameras. But if Sherry is here, she will give us a full tour of the store, giving us an explanation of like what they sell, their field, and all sorts of things like that. So that will be coming up. Garrett. Alright, I've dropped Garrett off, and now I'm heading back to my house to, well, more or less try and see if this thing fires, because I don't think it's been fired in over 2 to 3 years, so we're gonna find out if it fires. Alright guys, so right now I'm gonna gas it up. Right now this is not a shooting test, this is just a seeing if it'll hold gas test, and to see if it'll actually pump and fire. Okay, here we go. Let's see if it'll hold gas. I don't hear any leaks. And now we do the big one. Let's hold it from this angle. Make sure it cocked back. And hey, and we have success. Let's get one more just to be safe. And Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a functioning gas shotgun. It may be ugly as all hell, but it works. So right now I'm going to load it up, and we are going to hope for the best. When I say hope for the best, I'm not really expecting that much, but we'll see how it goes. How the hell do you load this thing?